Amateur Boxing Zhailauov Sport Complex. Welter weight.
We will be contesting a men's lightweight 60 kilograms.
Scheduled for the finals.
Domenico Valentino, ranked very highly, has beat Branimir Stankovic of Serbia by a score of 26-23 to get here today. He's 27 years old. He's 173 centimeters tall. His opponent, Miklos Varga, 24 years old. Boxing for Harangi Imre SC Club from Haju Saman, Hungary. The referee for the bout is Shanguli Merentiarov. The judges, Bagnavicius, good movement, looking for a way to get inside that long jab of Valentino. It's going to be tough to do. That will probably be the name of the game for Varga, to get through that jab of Valentino. Once he does, he gets into the pressure zone for Valentino. Certainly Valentino doesn't feel as safe when a boxer is in his pressure zone, and he will throw Valentino off his game, which clearly is to stick and move from the outside and beat his man on points through effective boxing and good scoring technique. So we're halfway through the first round. Valentino sticking to his game plan. Varga trying to find his way through. The crowd in here awfully loud here at the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex. This is the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships Ring B evening session, Wednesday, October 5, 2011. Nice right hand by Valentino, or excuse me, by Varga. And now Varga's backing up a little bit and letting Valentino throw that jab out there. Valentino showing very good movement, great footwork. Look at the lateral movement by Valentino. He's not standing in one idle position, making himself an easy target for Varga. On the contrary, he's constantly moving, making it very difficult for Varga to place his punches. You see, when the boxer is moving like that left and right, the way Valentino is, Varga has to continuously turn in order to find him. And when he has to turn, he has to replant his feet in order to throw an effective shot. By the time he finally replants his feet and gets ready to throw a punch, Valentino's in a new spot, starting the vicious cycle all over again for Varga. Meanwhile, Valentino having the opportunities to pot shot his man, since he's the one who knows where he's going to be. So right now, Valentino having a decisive advantage, so it would seem, by boxing smart on the outside, using his long jab effectively. And you could see the score now after round one, 10-3 for the Italian. Take a look back at that replay from the last round, and we'll see exactly what was just being discussed. Round number two, Valentino will likely do the same thing he's been doing. Box on the outside, effective use of the jab, great footwork, lateral movement. Varga needs to get inside, and the way he needs to do that is by using his feet, not his hands. His hands will come when he gets into position. He needs to bob, he needs to weave, he needs to get underneath that jab, and most importantly, he needs to cut off the ring. He can't let Valentino go where Valentino wants to go. He has to go, he has to send Valentino where he wants Valentino to go. The way he does that is, as you see there, Valentino wants to go left, so he goes right. He's got to go further right than Valentino's willing to go to send Valentino back left. Then he's got to go left to send Valentino right. And he's got to keep doing that as he gets closer. Valentino can only go so far. There are ropes behind him on every side of the ring. Once he cuts him off effectively and gets him close, he needs to start ripping shots to the body and bobbing and weaving away from that jab, just like that. Now he's inside. This is where Varga wants to be. Valentino, of course, pushes him off. He doesn't want him that close. Varga needs to stay on Valentino's chest and keep pounding away, slowing him down with body shots. The headshots will come once he's slowing down his man. It's not an easy task for young Miklos Varga. However, it's necessary if he wants to come out on top. Nice right hand. Varga needs to stay there, stay close, stay on top of him like a vest. Valentino, wisely, gonna step back and box from the outside. He does not want to exchange with Varga, not because he can't stand toe-to-toe, it's because he need not. All he has to do is rack up points from the outside and he will float and sail to an easy victory. Big right hand by Valentino now, and down goes Varga. That right hand was set up by the left jab of Valentino. Throughout the first 4 or 5 minutes of this bout, Valentino's jab was being used defensively. There you saw it get used offensively, and again right there. The 1-2 combination is one of the most effective in boxing, and it's the most simple. The 1 being the jab, the 2 being the overhand right. There's a left hook, a baby hook. That's the 5 punch by Valentino. And there's a big right hand, and now Valentino. Varga able to get inside there. You notice as soon as Valentino got off his game plan of jabbing and started trading with Varga just a minute, Varga was able to get inside and throw the big right hand with good effectiveness to Valentino's chin. Now Varga has himself up against the ropes with Valentino pushing on him. However, Valentino will go back to what's comfortable, stay on the outside, and probably have increased the margin of this bout double fold. And the scores are in now. The Italian has gone up to 20, while the Hungarian is at 9. 20-9. Domenico Valentino over Miklos Varga. He will sail to an easy victory unless Varga can stem the flow in the 3rd round. There's the score right there, round by round, 10-3 and 10-6. Varga did a slightly more effective job coming in the 2nd round. He was able to score 6 points, whereas he only had 3 in the first. However, it's just not going to be enough. This rate, he needs to do more. We'll see whether or not Varga's got a game plan, or rather his corner has a game plan for him. You know, it's not his fault per se that he can't get in there. It's a very difficult task, and it partly has to do with the tools you're given. Varga's height disadvantage is a big problem for him here. His reach disadvantage is a big problem for him here. And Valentino has found a way to use his God-given gifts to perfection. Even if Varga were using his tools to perfection, a good boxer, the rule says, always beats a good puncher. Now, of course, always needs to be put in italics, excuse me, because always is a very long time. It has a notion of permanency to it, and it's clearly not the case that a boxer always beats a puncher. But the rule, the better money, if money were to be waged on the notion who wins, a boxer or a puncher, the smarter money should go on the boxer. That's what Valentino is. He's boxing from the outside. Varga, built like a puncher, fights like a puncher. Unfortunately, he's up against some really stiff competition in Domenico Valentino. A wild right hand by Varga falls short, and Valentino walks to the opposite corner as the referee cautions Varga about using his head. A little over a minute left. Valentino going to stay right there in the pocket now and clinch. He doesn't need to do much. He just needs to stay out of harm's way. Don't do anything foolish. Don't get caught with a big, powerful shot by Varga that could hurt him. Now, Valentino holding on to the gloves of Varga, and the referee going to caution Varga about that. And now Valentino is just going to basically stay away on the outside, as he ought to at this point. Continue to box, keep his hands up. No need to showboat, no need to drop his hands. He could just keep his hands up and let Varga continue to bring the fight to him and jab accordingly. He doesn't need to get caught with a big right hand by Varga. Now Varga has Valentino in the corner, not where Valentino wants to be. And Varga is going to wrap him up here. A little over 20 seconds. A looping left hook by Varga sails over the head of Valentino, and that's going to do it for this bout. Domenico Valentino has himself an easy victory here over Miklos Varga. There you have it, 27-13. Domenico Valentino is the winner, and he moves on to the semifinals on Friday. If you look at some of the action here from that last round. There it is again, Domenico acting like the boxer that he is, staying on the outside, using his jab very effectively, and winning the contest with ease.
Russia.
And Jose Trueba is the referee for this next contest. Pochidis, Hassan Malisev, Pizarro, and Siaguan are the judges. This bout between Fazliddin, Gaibnazarov, and Vasil Lomachenko. Gaibnazarov of Uzbekistan, Lomachenko of Ukraine. Looking at Gaibnazarov, he took first place at the Sidney Jackson Memorial Tournament in Uzbekistan in 2010, second place at the Pompachenko Memorial Tournament in Moscow, Russia, same year. Also second place at the Chemistry Cup in Halle, Germany, earlier this year, and third place at the Magomedrasul Memorial Tournament, also in Ukraine, also this year. Yesterday, he beat Eugen Berhard of Germany, ranked number 5th in the world by a razor-thin score of 8-7. He's only 20 years old, and he's boxing today against the number 4 world-ranked 60-kilogram boxer in Vasil Lomachenko from the Ukraine. Lomachenko He was second place at the AIBA World Championships in Chicago, first place in the Summer Olympics in Beijing in 08. He got the gold there. In 09, he got the gold at the AIBA World Championships in Milan. First place last year at the Ukrainian National Championships, and again this year. What's interesting is, a quick note, last night, Lomachenko boxed Brazilian Robson Conceicao. Originally, Lomachenko lost by 1 point in a 20-19 decision. However, the Brazilian Conceicao fought a very contested bout. It was back and forth, highly competitive. And even though Lomachenko lost by a point, the Ukrainian team protested after the bout, and after further review by the AIBA competition jury regarding the issue of warnings, the decision was overruled, and Lomachenko was placed back in the tournament, and Conceicao was eliminated. So as mentioned, as a result of that protest late last night, you are seeing the incorrect graphics when you see the name Robson Conceicao from Brazil out of the blue corner. That's the reason why the computers had already been input with the winner of last night originally being Conceicao, and it was only after the protest that Lomachenko was placed back in the tournament. So please excuse the apologies, or rather please our apologies, and please excuse the incorrect graphic stating Robson Conceicao. It is indeed Vasyl Lomachenko from the Ukraine boxing in the blue corner against Fazliddin Gaibnazarov of Uzbekistan. And as we get back to the action here, we have the Uzbeki boxer pushing Lomachenko back against the ropes. Lomachenko is just a very seasoned, clean fighter. He looks so clean. He's got great angles, great posture, great speed, and great power, and he loves to go to the body. Earlier in the tournament, he was able to stop the contest in the second round against one of his opponents with a vicious body shot that the gentleman just could not get up from. Yesterday, he even landed a couple of great body shots against Conceicao. However, today, he hasn't really let those fists go just yet. I suspect we'll start to see that shortly. Gaibnazarov, to his credit, is doing a good job keeping the pressure on Lomachenko. He's keeping Lomachenko in the corner for a moment, and now Lomachenko flips out with a quick right hand to the chin, and Gaibnazarov retreats, and he's back in position. A double right hook by Lomachenko to the body and back up to the head. Very nicely done. He circles to his left now, tries to find a way in. Gaibnazarov ripping a left to the body. Good work now by Gaibnazarov. He's doing what he can here to contain the hard-punching, high-flying Vasyl Lomachenko from the Ukraine. A left to the body by Lomachenko. Short pulled punch that was. Lomachenko threw a right hook. That fell short. And after one round, the Uzbeki boxer is up a point, 3-2. It'll be very interesting to see if he can maintain that lead as the bout continues. There you see a cuffed left hook by Lomachenko that actually sails behind the head of the Uzbeki boxer. Now the Uzbeki boxer getting good work done up against the ropes on Lomachenko. So Lomachenko getting some advice from his corner. Both boxers indeed getting advice. Lomachenko likes to stand in the corner between rounds. Gaibnazarov prefers to sit. Ten seconds. There's the bell. Seconds out. Boxing will resume. The referee keeps Lomachenko in his corner until he gives the signal. There's the bell. Good work right out of the gate. Lomachenko going to the body, starting to show signs of the effective body punching. Now they clinch in the middle of the ring, and good work by Gaibnazarov throwing a left hook, scoring on the head, perhaps scoring on Lomachenko. Lomachenko going to the body again. Lefts, rights, upstairs and then down a little bit, and now Lomachenko's starting to put on the pressure. He's got Gaibnazarov up against the ropes. He's throwing wild uppercuts. There's an overhand hook, falls short. The Uzbeki boxer doing a really good job containing Lomachenko. He's showing good angles. He's moving in and out a lot, which is causing Lomachenko to not exactly know where he's going to be. He's not keeping himself a static target or staying in one place, and as a result, Lomachenko is really having to work here to score these points. A little baby right hook by Lomachenko inside. Hits the chin of Gaibnazarov. Now the referee's going to separate the action. So pretty even matchup so far, even through half of round 2. The Uzbeki boxer really looking sharp. It would be amazing if, especially after the events of last night, when the Brazilian had originally upset Lomachenko, and then Lomachenko had the decision reversed or overruled. It would be absolutely amazing and perhaps devastating to the Ukrainian team should Gaibnazarov be able to actually eliminate Lomachenko and beat him tonight. Nice left hand by Gaibnazarov. That may have even gotten into the guard of Lomachenko, and Lomachenko keeping the pressure on. Really effective defense by Gaibnazarov. He's clinching when he needs to. Really sort of ruffling the feathers of Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko normally more of an offensive juggernaut here. Got to give kudos to Gaibnazarov for doing a good job of keeping much of that off of him, and he stays out of harm's way. Some good bobbing and weaving. 15 seconds left to go in this second round of this 60-kilogram lightweight bout. Here comes Gaibnazarov now. Vasily's able to turn him, and the referee's going to caution Gaibnazarov for turning his back. Prohibited. And a nice left hand by Lomachenko. Looks like it may have gotten in, and now the Ukrainian starting to show signs of the boxer that we know he is. 10-7, the Ukrainian, and now the Uzbeki boxer finds himself 3 down in the third round. There's a nice left hand by Lomachenko, right on the kisser. There's a left to the body. Getting good work done is Lomachenko. A left hand, that was a nice jab by Gaibnazarov. Be amazing to see if he could actually continue scoring points on Lomachenko in the third round here. Right hand by Gaibnazarov, a big left by Lomachenko. Left and right to the body by Lomachenko, and Gaibnazarov standing his ground. Left hand, right, trying to break through that guard. Lomachenko keeps his hands very high and tight. That's how he ought to, and as a result, it's very tough to penetrate the guard with jabs and even hooks. And now Lomachenko trying to rip his hands free. He's up by 3 going into the round. He needs to hold on to that lead and perhaps increase it if possible. Baby left hook by Lomachenko. Those will get to you after a while. They may not score points in the judges' eyes, but they're certainly doing work on Gaibnazarov. Big right hand, a fast right hand by Lomachenko, right under the chin of Gaibnazarov. Nice right hand, Lomachenko. Just so sneaky. You really don't see these punches coming. He doesn't telegraph them. He's coming from all angles. He's so fast. Seems like by the time the punch gets to his opponent, it already landed. Gaibnazarov now really needs to engage. There's just over a minute left. He was down by 3 going in. It looks like Lomachenko has probably increased that margin as this third round has gone on. And Gaibnazarov cannot rest back on his laurels. He cannot sit back and wait for Lomachenko to bring the action to him. He needs to move forward. It's a daunting task, but that's his only way through this right now. Chopping right hand by Lomachenko on the chin of Gaibnazarov. Big right hand by Gaibnazarov there, but for the most part it was obstructed by the clinch of Lomachenko. Nice left hand right off the break, Lomachenko. And now Gaibnazarov continuing to come forward. It's unfortunate. In the first round he was really looking like he had an opportunity to do some real serious work here against Lomachenko, but Lomachenko, such a brilliant boxer, was able to change that tide in the second and really just hold on to it here in the third. And Gaibnazarov has just got 10 seconds left. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to really do much at this point by way of securing himself a victory. Seconds tick away. We're going to now wait for the judges to give us the official word. (18-10) is the decision as Vasyl Lomachenko secures himself a victory over Fazliddin Gaibnazarov. Take a look back at some of the work here as he did, and you'll see how it happened. Lomachenko is going to be highly favored here in this tournament. A lot of people were surprised at the initial decision yesterday, and maybe this is exactly why. They expected a lot of him, and they still do. We'll see if he can continue his winning ways and make it to the final round. Here comes Yasnier Toledo. Toledo from Cuba, ranked number 3 in the world. He's facing Han Soon of the Korean Republic. Han Soon, 27 years old, 179 centimeters. Referee Frank Sharma from Germany will officiate. And the judges, Renee Just, De Castro, Caulfield, Chinar, and Alvarado will be counting the punches from ringside. This is the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships in Baku 2011. And Castle Chalice calling the action from ringside. Let's take a look at Lopez's record. At least part of it and what got him here. In 2009, he placed 6th at the AIBA World Boxing Championships. In 2010, last year at the Pan American Championships in Quito, Ecuador, he placed 1st. Also placed 1st earlier this year at the Pan American Games in Cumana, excuse me. And earlier this year, he grabbed the gold at the Cuban National Team Championships. Yesterday, he beat Sailan Ardi of Thailand 20-9. Han Soon Chul of Korea
The winning blue corner,
He participated in the 07 AIBA World Championships. He also took 9th at the AIBA World Championship. That was in 07 in Chicago. In 09, he placed 9th in Milan. And last year at the Korean National Championships, he grabbed a gold. He also boxed earlier this year at the Asian Championships in Incheon. Yesterday, Han Soon-chul beat Liu Qiang of China 16-9. That brings them both to the semifinals. Excuse me, the quarterfinals that you're watching today. The winner goes on to the semifinals on Friday. Both of these boxers have already secured a spot in the Olympic Games in London next year.
Referee, Argentina. India.
So now Toledo out of the red corner from Cuba, Han out of the blue corner from Korea. Han starts to press the action. The Cubans brought an excellent squad here. They're doing very well here this tournament. You'll be seeing a great Cuban super heavyweight later on this evening as well. In just about an hour from now, about 4 more bouts. But now we're still in the 60-kilogram weight class, and Toledo looking very sharp, throwing a nice right hand over the top of the left of the Korean. The Korean seems to be pressing the action, as is often the case. The taller Cuban boxer, just like in the earlier bout with Domenico Valentino and Miklos Varga, you could see how the taller Toledo, in this instance, is going to try and stay on the outside, at least for now, and use his long limbs, his long legs, his long arms, his lightning fast reflexes, and box from the outside, try and pick up some points early over the Korean. Perhaps if he feels he's got a secure enough lead, if he could do that after a round or so, he may try and start standing toe-to-toe and pick it up a little bit. For now, he'd be well served to keep doing what he's doing. The Korean's going to find himself on the receiving end of many of these long, fast fists of fury by the Cuban, unless the Korean could somehow stem the tide. He's standing a little bit upright, making himself somewhat of an easy target for Toledo. Han would be well served to bob and weave a little more and to try and show more angles, also more lateral movement. You notice how he's just moving in and out. He's advancing when Toledo retreats, and he's retreating when Toledo advances. However, with Toledo's advantage in speed and reach, Han would be better served using more lateral movement, stepping to the side, causing Han to have to turn with him in order to land his punches. To add more complications to Han's problems, Toledo's boxing in the southpaw stance, which is just a less common style, and one that Han probably hasn't encountered as much throughout his amateur career. Pulling right jab by Toledo, falls short. Han staying on his mark. That's going to be the end of the first round. Take a look at the action from round 1, and you'll see how the score became 6-3 for the Cuban.
Second round.
Now Toledo continuing to circle away from the Korean boxer. The Korean continuing to put the pressure on. A right-left, right combination. Nice lightning fast reflexes by Toledo. And Han, seemingly unfazed, continues to press the action. Han playing the stalker, or rather stalking Toledo around, while Toledo feeling very comfortable letting himself be stalked, because he knows those are his opportunities to really to create the activity, to create the action, because as Han continues to follow him around the ring as he's doing, Toledo is able to really decide what he wants to do next. Han really has less choice in the matter. He may not realize it, but it's true. Han has to follow Toledo around. He's down on points. Toledo, on the other hand, can decide when he wants to engage. He can decide when he wants to go, where he wants to go, and Han is pretty much relegated to playing the lead of following him. So it's interesting that the Korean is both stalker and stalkee at the same time, while Toledo gets to watch and pot shot as he deems necessary. He's up by 3. There's a minute 20 left. Nice footwork. And now here comes Toledo, perhaps going to start to let his hands go a little bit more in this round. As we suspected, once he grabbed a little lead as he did in the first round, he may be more willing to stand toe-to-toe with Han. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does, that he's able to end this bout early. It doesn't look like he wants to finish this fight early, but I imagine if he starts to apply the pressure to Han, Han may just not be able to weather the storm. His defense is a little bit loose, his hands are low, and I don't think he could match Toledo in the speed department. Now you have to give it to Han. He's staying in there. He's making it a game contest. He's got the will, he's got the desire. He's made it this far. He just needs to keep pushing.
Ring day, second round.
10 seconds left in round number 2 here. It's a 60-kilogram bout between Yasnier Toledo and Han Soon. And now the score goes up 10-6 to the Cuban. So the Korean keeping it somewhat competitive. It's only a 4-point bout. He's going to need to do more in round number 3, that is for sure, in order to finish this victorious. Take a look at the action from round number 2, and you'll see how the scoring became 10-6 for the Cuban. Referee standing by, watching closely. Round 3 getting ready to begin. And now with a 10-6 deficit going into the 3rd and final round, the Korean is going to have his work cut out for him. Right-left combination out of the gate by Toledo. Toledo may try and pour on some points here. He may feel comfortable. Like to see more combination punching by Toledo. He's really throwing one, maybe 1-2 punch combinations at a time. He could do a lot more. He could go down to the body of Han. He could come back upstairs. He could try and finish this man. You know, Toledo may have what he thinks is a fairly easy opponent in front of him. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it easy. But while he may feel that he has an easy opponent in front of him, he's still got a lot of tough opponents in front of him throughout the course of this tournament. Others that he'll be meeting in the Olympic Games, no doubt, in less than a year from now. Why not put an ounce of fear in their hearts and in their minds? Make himself a knockout boxer, a knockout artist. Try and finish Han early. That's the objective here, is to get out of this as quick as you can with as little harm as possible. So if Toledo could change his style just a little bit from the outside boxer to the aggressive puncher, with less to lose here. Han hasn't really shown much in the way of punching power. He hasn't shown much in the way of speed. There's not that much that should scare Toledo about taking a little risk here at the second half of the third round. Maybe he could go for it, go for the knockout, finish his man early, and put a little fear in the hearts and minds of his fellow 60-kilogram boxers. Put the men's lightweight division on notice that the Cuban is coming to the Olympics in London, and he means business. Nice left hand by Toledo. Good reflexes by Toledo as well to stay away from that right hand by Han. Han continuing to box, continuing to try and find a way in. He just hasn't thrown any punches. And why? Because he's had no one to punch. Toledo has been able to effectively keep 3 to 4 feet distance between himself and Han the entire bout. That's why Han hasn't thrown any real punches, because he has no one to punch. That's the closest thing right there. A short punch from way too far away. Of course it's not going to land. He's using that jab to measure his man. By the time he goes to pull the trigger, and he doesn't even actually pull it, but by the time he's about to pull it, Toledo's gone already. Now they're going to lock horns in the middle. 20 seconds or so left here in the third round of this lightweight contest. And Toledo still hasn't really figured out how to score effectively, or at all for that matter. He's got a few points, but I think they were more because Toledo let him mix it up, because clearly Toledo has the ability to keep the Korean off of him throughout this contest if he chooses. And that's it. We'll get the official score in just a moment.
In the sport winner, Hrgovic, Toledo, Yasnier, Kuba.
And the Cuban, as expected, pulls out an impressive victory. He's going to be a tough man to beat in this lightweight division. There's no doubt about that. He's got a great body for boxing. Tall, long, lean, fast, great reflexes, straight punches. It'd be nice to see his ability to engage more, because he's not always going to have an opponent like the one he just had that has trouble finding him. Eventually he's going to have to deal with a boxer that's going to stand on his chest and make him box, and when that happens, will he be able to do so? Can he stand toe-to-toe and exercise those reflexes at close quarters? We'll find out, sure enough, more likely sooner than later. We get ready now for the final lightweight bout of this quarterfinal round. It's between Bhagwan of India and Gani Zuyeu from Kazakhstan. In a moment, the boxers will make their way to the ring. just going to stand by here for a brief moment. Again, we are at the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan for the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships. You're now looking at an empty Ring B as we await for the contestants of the 4th lightweight bout of the evening to enter. This is the quarterfinal round. After this lightweight bout, we will have 4 more bouts in the super heavyweight division. That's the 91 plus kilogram weight class, the big boys, where the bombs will fly for sure, and the excitement level will certainly be picked up a notch, as is often the case when the big men get in the ring.
The winner is red corner, Latin of just Roberto, Uzbekistan.
And now we get set after a brief delay for the bout between Bhagwan from India and Gani Zuyeu of Kazakhstan. Zuyeu, 26 years old, with a nice measured jog into the ring. The referee for this contest from Canada, Tony Germain. And the judges, Madfua, Zux, Trueba, Carrillo, and Kassan. Gani Zuyeu from Kazakhstan, 26 years old, resides in Zambul, Obul. In 2009 at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, he lost to Idel Torriente of Cuba 11-7 in the first preliminary round. Thereafter, last year at the Kazakh National Championships, he placed 3rd. He also grabbed first place at the Kazakh National Championships early this year, and first place right here in Baku, Azerbaijan at the Great Silkweight Tournament, also earlier this year. Yesterday he beat Javklan Baryadi of Mongolia by a score of 19-15 to earn himself this spot today. Bhagwan beat number 7 ranked David Joyce of Ireland yesterday by a close 32-30 margin. So this is going to be interesting. Bhagwan in the red corner from India, Zuyeu from Kazakhstan in the blue. Bhagwan lunges forward with a left. Zuyeu retreating a little bit. Got his hands down a little low. This Bhagwan can really punch. He's got long arms, and he likes to throw his hands. We saw that yesterday, a high-scoring matchup with David Joyce of Ireland, where he scored 32 scoring punches. So Zuyeu's going to have his hands full from this punching machine from India. Will he be able to keep the pressure off of him? There's a big right hand by Bhagwan. One thing he could do is try and smother those punches. He doesn't want to stay on the long end of those extended punches. He wants to get in close. If he continues to let Bhagwan keep distance, then like we've seen a couple of times earlier today, the taller boxer will continue to box from the outside, utilize the long reach, keep the shorter man off of him, and pepper him with jabs and long right hands just like that all night long. Kazakhstan, he needs to get inside. He needs to bully the Indian. He needs to really push him around the ring, and I mean literally push him around, get up on his chest, push him off of him during the clinch, punch him whenever he can, go to the body. Right now he should be throwing shots to the body and the ribs. He should never stop throwing punches. Make Bhagwan think twice about engaging. See that? You notice how when Bhagwan gets set to punch, and he does really telegraph those punches, he brings his elbow back. It's a common mistake by many amateur boxers. They bring their arm back like you're cocking the trigger of a gun. They're bringing their arm back and then they're letting their hands fly. And as a result, the Kazakhstani is seeing that. And when he sees that, he jumps in and crowds the punch. Look at that nice jab. Really nice jab by Zuyeu. If he could continue to see those punches coming and get inside, then the first problem that Bhagwan's going to have is he's not going to be able to get full extension. The second is that he's not even going to really connect on those punches because Zuyeu's going to be inside his full extension before they land. So Zuyeu, great job. Stay inside, stay close. Bhagwan, you're better off staying on the outside and not jumping in like that. Not jumping in as you throw the punch, but keep those punches from a distance. 20 seconds left in round one. This may have been a tough one to score for the judges. A lot of these punches hard to really see their connect percentage because they're constantly, the two boxers are constantly coming together each time that the punches land. And as a result, it's hard to see when they land cleanly, at least from this vantage point. And there it is, 3-3. So a pretty close one, doesn't get closer. 3-3 after round one. The Indian boxer is going to go back to his corner, and we're going to see a little replay, some action from this last round. All right, get set for round number two. This is going to be heated, I believe. Zuyeu continues to march forward. Bhagwan, not one to back down from a fight. Bhagwan is standing there, trading with him. Not a good idea for him. He feels perhaps that he wants to get more points, and the better way to do it is standing there with the Kazakhstani boxer. However, that's not the case. The better move is to stay on the outside. So left and a right by the Kazaki. Another right. Big left hand by Bhagwan there. And the Kazaki, not to be dismayed, is going to continue to march forward. You see how he's crowding Bhagwan. Those long punches by Bhagwan are not really having any effectiveness, as Zuyeu is able to get inside them once he sees them being launched. Also noticing that the way that Bhagwan is keeping his hands up high to protect his face, when they do meet in close like that, he's leaving a lot of room unprotected in his midsection. It'd be a great opportunity for Zuyeu to score with body shots. And there's a big right hand by the Indian. The referee's going to separate them and boxing's going to resume. Right now, you should see Zuyeu try and break free, and that's happening a lot too, where Bhagwan continues to go down to a knee once they get into a clinch. It's the second or third time it's happened. He's coming in with his head down. The referee keeps cautioning him to keep his head up. But you can see right there his natural tendency to protect his face is to put his head down into his gloves and just march down, and that's what's happening. He shouldn't be looking down. He can't see what's coming, if he's looking down. He needs to keep his head, chin down, eyes up is the rule. Chin down, eyes up. And if he keeps his chin down and his eyes up, he shouldn't be succumbing to those clinches. Like right there, he shouldn't have to worry about Zuyeu bringing his head down because he should be keeping his distance. Well, be that as it may, this is resulting in a herky-jerky style between both boxers, where it's resulting in more clinches and more stoppages of the clock and less clean boxing. We've seen this before. Once these boxers get into this sort of rhythm, this groove of clinching and holding and wrestling instead of boxing, it tends to pretty much infect the rest of the fight. Same mindset goes into it, and neither boxer can really get out of it. Unfortunately, the Kazakhstani boxer can't really do anything else but, because he can't score based on the physical differences in the size of the two. He's not going to be able to score from the distance. He needs to get in there, and the problem is every time he tries to get in, Bhagwan puts his head down, and they end up clinching and holding. Perhaps Zuyeu could try and prevent that from happening. Right now, instead of grabbing him like that, he could just move away, circle to his left, and rip shots to the body. So while Bhagwan will have his head down in his hands, keeled over, Zuyeu will be on the side of him, ripping shots to the rib cage. Not a bad philosophy in theory. Not sure if Zuyeu will be able to effectuate that, but there's a nice right hand to the body, and now Kazakhstani's boxer's head looked like his head went down. He almost looked like he caught a thumb in the eye, but he's all right. Long right hand by Bhagwan. Not sure why Bhagwan has chosen to box so close to this man. He would seem much more effective on the outside. I'd be very surprised if his corner not only urges him, but demands of him to stay on the outside and box. 6-5. Gani Zuyeu from Kazakhstan is now winning over Bhagwan from India. It's a 1-point match going into the third. There's the long left-right hand, which Bhagwan gets only with full extension of his punches.
6-5. Close. 1.
As the boxers get set for the third round, see if we can't get a new style. See if the boxers' corners have not given them different advice. Have them employ a different style of boxing, one that may be more effective for each of their charges. Nice overhand right by Bhagwan, scored to the chin of Zuyeu. Zuyeu continuing to march down his man, and here comes Bhagwan. Throws a left hand while he eats a left of his own. Ties up again in the center. Little wrestling going on. The referee is going to stop the action and caution Bhagwan. Stiff left jab by Zuyeu. And again, Bhagwan ties him up. I can't imagine they enjoy boxing like this after all the fun they must have in the gym, sparring, working the heavy bag, practicing for 3 minutes at a clip. How they could enjoy this stop and go action, and why not avoid it at all costs? But there goes Zuyeu now, again putting the headlock on Bhagwan. And now he's going to work a little bit. He's shooting to the head, and Bhagwan is again locking up. I mean, it's okay if the referee lets them box their way out of it, but what ends up happening is the referee keeps breaking them up, and the clock keeps stopping, and a 3-minute round becomes a 6-minute round. Much better if the referee applies a warning after enough cautions, adds a point or two for each of the boxers when necessary, gives them an incentive to not continue this style, or lets them box through it. And now they push each other off. Under a minute to go in this third round. And again, the Kazakhstani boxer trying to protect himself in the clinch. Again, the action stops, and again it resumes. The right hand by Bhagwan goes down again. A wild left hook by Bhagwan. Looks like that may have scored, and once again the clinch. And once again, for about the 10th time in this bout, Bhagwan goes down in the clinch, and the clock gets stopped. Well, remember that the winner of this bout goes on to the semifinals on Friday. The winner of that bout goes on to the finals on Saturday, fights for the gold medal, the glory of their country, the pride of their boxing gym, and their family name. Both of these men will be in the Olympics. They've earned that right, having made it to this round. And now Bhagwan needs a little breather. The referee is going to let the action continue. There's just 8 seconds left, at least on the clock. And they're going to fight through this, maybe. Another headlock, another clock stoppage, another warning, or caution rather, and now that's it. So the wrestling/boxing match is over. The Indian boxer goes back to his corner to the applause of his coach, and the Kazakhstani boxer goes back as well. Remember, it was 3-3 after the first round. It was 6-5 in favor of the Kazakhi boxer after the second. Depending on how the judges saw the third round, this is technically still either man's fight. However, I'm inclined to think that the Kazakhstani boxer was a little more active, landed a few more cleaner shots, and perhaps pulled away with a slight margin in this third round. And it is the case. 11-10 by 1 point. Gani Zuyeu is the winner, and he'll go on to the next round, the semifinals on Friday. You could see a replay from the action right here, and there's that big overhand right by Bhagwan, as the Kazakhstani boxer seemed to be looking, or starting to look, the other way. And now, as we've concluded the lightweight division, we move on to the big boys, the men's super heavyweights, 91 kilograms, and this is a fight I am really excited about. Roberto Cammarelle from Italy and Anthony Joshua from England. You see the big man, Roberto Cammarelle, entering the ring right now. He is ranked all the way to the top. Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, much less lauded, however, very impressive. Watch this young kid box yesterday, pulled out a very impressive victory over a big experienced boxer, more experienced than he, and he's got a very, very calm style. We'll get right back to that. The referee from Poland, Mariusz Gorny, will be calling the action, and he's going to have his hands full of these two big men. The judges, Bogdanowicz, Jumaniyazov, Cowley, Poggi, and Alvarado will be counting the punches from ringside. Let's look into the background of Roberto Cammarelle. 2005 AIBA World Championships in Mianjing Province in China, he took 3rd place. 2007 at the AIBA World Championships in Chicago, he grabbed the gold. And in 2008 in the Summer Olympic Games in Beijing, he grabbed the gold, also in the 91+ kilogram weight class. In 2009 at the AIBA World Championships in Milan, he grabbed gold as well. He's ranked number 1 in the world. Yesterday, he beat Cornelius Sheehan of Ireland when the Irishman's corner stopped the contest halfway through the 3rd round. They felt their man could not win, and they let it go. Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, 2011 English national champion, 1st place. He beat Mohamed Arjai of Morocco yesterday, who was ranked 9 by a score of 16-7. Cammarelle has a very lethargic looking style in there. Not very fast, not much movement, but packs a wallop in his punches. Like a ferry boat pulling into the slip. Both hands have dynamite in them. And if Anthony Joshua can figure out a way to stick and move against Cammarelle, I think he's going to find perhaps a modicum of success. He's very heavy-footed, is Cammarelle, and I don't think he does as well with boxers that use a lot of lateral movement. However, you've got to hand it to Cammarelle. He's got great reflexes, as you can see there. Good upper body movement, and he's willing to stand in the pocket and trade shots with these other big men if they're willing to do the same. However, Joshua is a big man, and he's fast and he's strong. And if he's willing to stand in there and trade with Cammarelle, he may just be able to hurt him. Furthermore, if he uses his boxing skills and his long arms to stick and move, he may also find some good success with the 1-2 combination. Either way, both of these men are going to get hit. There's no question. And now Cammarelle standing in the center of the ring, continues to plot away. Right hook. Joshua lunging forward, following Cammarelle around the ring. He doesn't want to necessarily do that. Cammarelle would expect that a little bit. Instead, Joshua needs to start using angles. He may want to start ripping shots to the body. One of the best things you can do with a boxer who shows a lot of head movement, like Cammarelle does, is go to the body. To keep turning your opponent and throw shots to the body to slow him down a little bit. Eventually, they say you go to the body and the head will fall. And that happens all the time. And Joshua's a big, strong kid. He's young, but he's a strong kid. And if he can, by the way, he's only 22 years old to Cammarelle's 31 years old. So he's giving up 10 years as Cammarelle, and it would be nice to see Joshua use those 10 years to his advantage by using speed in the ring to move in and out and to show Cammarelle angles. And there you go, there's 2 big punches by Joshua, and he seemed to have stunned Cammarelle for just a moment. But it goes to show you that Cammarelle can be hit in the head if Joshua continues to do what he did right there, to throw punches and move while he's throwing them, to come in with angles and good footwork. He may be able to get some success, and look at that, it's only a 1-point lead for the Italian, 6-5 after 1 round. Let's see how he did it. Hopefully we could catch the replay where Joshua actually comes in and lands that big right hand. You see right here, Joshua continues to come forward with his feet and throw punches at the same time. Instead of standing back, he's moving forward and throwing punches. 6-5 Cammarelle. Both of these boxers are going to the Olympics. They may meet there again. There's a very good chance they will. But right now, this is about bragging rights for the Azerbaijan World Championships. Right here in Baku, right now. Winner goes on to the semifinals. Loser gets a ticket home. Round number 2. Joshua not intimidated. He's very calm and cool in there. A cool cat, as they say. Now Cammarelle has Joshua up against the ropes. Not a good place for Joshua. He needs to get out of there. He needs to circle away, and he needs to do some good work right now if he can. He needs to throw body shots when Cammarelle's not expecting it. He needs to soften up the midsection a little bit. Nice right hand by Joshua. Snaps back the head of Cammarelle. That was a great punch. That's what we saw at the end of round 1, and that's what we know Joshua is capable of doing. He needs to keep the pressure on. He needs to make Cammarelle know that he could hurt him. I think Cammarelle might already know, having received 2 big shots, one at the end of the first round and one right here, that Joshua packs a wallop. Joshua's got a real pure boxer style. Cammarelle more of a puncher. But Joshua, a pure boxer, it seems. He throws straight punches. He uses that jab effectively. Cammarelle more relying on his experience in the ring, his ability to stand in the pocket and throw heavy punches. There's a big left by Cammarelle, and Joshua comes fighting back off the ropes. Nice right hand by Joshua, and he's able to avoid the other counterpunch that Cammarelle throws. Cammarelle's boxing in the southpaw style. Joshua in the orthodox. A lot of clinching going on here. These are 2 big men trying to get their hands free. And a nice right hand by Joshua off the break. Protect yourself at all times. Cammarelle looked at the ref and said, "What about that?" And the ref said, "Well, what do you want me to do? Punch him back." Well, that's what Cammarelle's going to have to do. There's under a minute left in round number 2. The golden rule of boxing, protect yourself at all times. Cammarelle thought he had a break by the referee, but apparently not the case. Nice left hand by Joshua to the head of Cammarelle. Now Cammarelle's going to push his weight upon Joshua, but Joshua's going to push right back. He's a strong man, not easily pushed around. A lead right hand by Joshua. Misses, and a nice left hand. Joshua sticks a left uppercut to the chin of Cammarelle. Joshua being very effective here in round 2. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very close score. It may even be the case that Joshua has been able to pull ahead on this one. He's been very effective in landing 1 shot at a time. He's not throwing combinations against Cammarelle, but he is keeping the pressure on, and he's using a sneaky style with both hands to catch Cammarelle when he's not expecting it. Just 10 seconds left in round number 2. It'll be very interesting to see how the judges have this scored after 2 rounds. And look at that, 11-9 the Englishman over the Italian. 11-9 Joshua. Cammarelle has been in this situation before. He's been down on points, but you could see now that Joshua's style is just so effective. One of the greatest things about Joshua is he's just not intimidated. You can see it. He comes in cool. He knows he's a big, strong man, and he boxes like one. Cammarelle is used to pushing his weight around. However, look at Joshua. As soon as Cammarelle leaned on him, he came right back off and pushed him back. Joshua is faster than Cammarelle. He's got better reflexes than Cammarelle, at least in his arms. Cammarelle has very good head movement. You got to give it to him. His reflexes from the upper midsection, that's like the pectoral region, up, shoulders and head, very good. He could stand in the pocket and avoid a lot of these big punches. However, Joshua could show that he's got great hands, and some of these punches Cammarelle has not been able to avoid. Better footwork, straighter punches by Joshua make for a very difficult matchup for Cammarelle here. If Joshua could try and continue to do what he's doing and not necessarily mix it up with Cammarelle much more. It wouldn't be bad if he could try and stick and move from the outside and try and preserve that lead. However, Joshua looks like he's hungry to rack up a few more points. If he could do that, he'll be more effective by continuing to throw shots when Cammarelle's not expecting it. Two minutes left. There's a little body shot by Joshua in the clinch. And now Cammarelle lunges forward with a left, and he's starting to put his weight on Joshua. Referee is going to separate the boxers, and a right by Cammarelle, a right by Cammarelle, a left by Cammarelle, and now Joshua and him are scuffling up against the ropes. Joshua doesn't want to stay there. Cammarelle retreats. The referee brings them back to the center of the ring. A big left hand by Cammarelle. A chopping right baby hook by Cammarelle to the left temple of Joshua, and Joshua needs to get back on his bicycle. He needs to start using that jab. He needs to start following up with a big right hand. Start throwing more punches is the best advice for Joshua right now. It looks like he may have given Cammarelle a little room to come back on the scorecard here in the third round. I don't think he's tiring. I just think he needs to throw more punches. And the bull rush by Cammarelle again. Joshua ties him up. The referee cautions Cammarelle for circling, and in comes Cammarelle right off the break, and he catches Joshua with a big right hand. Joshua just ate a right hand by Cammarelle, and he's going to need to keep his distance. He can't let Cammarelle continue to bull rush him like that. He needs to catch Cammarelle with a couple of big punches here and secure that lead that he had going into this round. We are in Ring B here at the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. This is the first super heavyweight bout in the quarterfinal round. Semifinals to follow on Friday, finals on Saturday. Cammarelle looks like he's a little frustrated in there. And there's a nice lead right hand by Joshua. That one may have actually scored on the chin of Cammarelle. And they clinch again here at the ropes, and as the clock ticks away, that's it. This is going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be close. I feel like the Italian may have been able to come back and get a few of those points in the third round. I'm just not sure if he did enough to pull ahead with a victory. This could be very close here, perhaps even a draw. It all depends on what the judges saw and gave credit for. And as the score is tallied, and he does it, the Englishman. No, yes, the Englishman, 15-13. He unseats the #1 boxer in the world. Anthony Joshua just beat Roberto Cammarelle here in the quarterfinals in Azerbaijan. Cammarelle, the gold medalist at the 2008 Summer Olympic Games in Beijing, the gold medalist at the 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, and the gold medalist 2007 AIBA World Championships in Chicago. The three biggest titles in world super heavyweight boxing, amateur style, for the past 4 years. The AIBA World Championships in 07, the AIBA World Championships in 09, and the Olympic Games in 2008, all gold medals to Roberto Cammarelle. Not tonight. Tonight, 2011 in Azerbaijan, and we have a new super heavyweight, and his name is Anthony Joshua. He's from England, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with come Friday and Saturday in this tournament. Stay tuned. We are now moving on to the second super heavyweight bout between Erik Pfeifer of Germany and Viktar Zuyeu of Belarus. As you see the gentlemen making their way to the ring right now, age 24, Erik Pfeifer. In the red corner. Here's the boxer from Belarus, Viktar Zuyeu, 28 years old. Referee from Slovakia, Rene Just. He's not only fair, he's just. Judges, Gorny, Madfora, Pizarro, Kennedy, and Hassan. Let's take a look at Pfeifer from Germany, how he got here today. 2009 AIBA World Championships in Milan, lost to Zhang Zhilei 12-8 in the second preliminary round. However, he grabbed gold in the same year at the German National Championships, as well as in 2010, first place, German National Championships. Yesterday, he beat the number 5 ranked Ukrainian Roman Kapitanenko by a score of 22-14. Viktar Zuyeu. 2003 AIBA World Championships in Bangkok, third place. An Olympian in the 2004 Summer Games in Athens, where he grabbed the silver medal with a loss to Cuban great Adlanir Solis. 05 AIBA World Championships, lost to Luis Ortiz in the second round. However, bounced back, and after a participation in the 07 AIBA World Championships in Chicago, and a loss to Clemente Russo, the Italian, in 2008 at the Summer Olympic Games in Beijing, he grabbed bronze at the 2009 AIBA Games, the AIBA World Championships in Milan. Who did he lose to there? The man you just saw lose, Roberto Cammarelle from Italy. That brings us here after beating American Lenroy Thompson last night with a score of 18-15. Viktar Zuyeu is ranked number 4 in the world. Erik Pfeifer beat number 5 ranked Ukrainian Roman Kapitanenko yesterday by a score of 22-14. So these guys are very evenly matched. Pfeifer from Germany in the red, Zuyeu from Belarus in blue. And as Zuyeu boxing in the southpaw style, Pfeifer orthodox, Rene Just looking on closely. A left hand by Pfeifer draws some reaction from the crowd. A right hook by Zuyeu, followed by a straight left, which missed its mark. And Pfeifer continues to push. Looks a little nervous, a little jittery in there, but it looks like it's good nerves. He's just got his hands bopping around a little bit, shaking, not a good sign. It's better to keep the gloves stern and strong, tight fist, ready to throw a punch. See how his gloves seem a little jittery in there. They're shaking around a little bit even when they're not being thrown. Zuyeu now starts to impose his will a little bit and walk his man down. Just over a minute left here in the first round of this second super heavyweight bout of the evening. Left hand by Zuyeu, thrown from too far of a distance to be effective. However, Pfeifer is going to keep the pressure on. And now Zuyeu circles to his left, not the way you want to circle. You're circling right into the big right hand of Erik Pfeifer. Zuyeu should know better. Don't circle left into the harm's way of that big right hand of Pfeifer. He's going to want to circle right away from it. And here comes Zuyeu with a lead right hand. That's how the round's going to end. And it's a 4-4 score after one. So these guys are fairly evenly matched, at least through one round. They're about the same size. They have a similar style. I think we're going to see a very close match throughout the entirety of this bout. Or rather, a very close contest. Yeah, close match. That'll work. Right hand, you see there by the German. And a chopping left by the boxer from Belarus.
Ring game, second round.
Ring B, second round.
And Pfeifer comes out. And remember, this is the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships. It's the first qualifying event for the 2012 Olympic Games in London. As such, the boxers you're watching today, including the two you see right now in the ring, have all earned a ticket to box in the Olympics next year. They're boxing tonight for world supremacy. The winner goes on to the semifinals on Friday and the finals on Saturday to be crowned king of the super heavyweight division for the time being. This would be the equivalent of a tournament which will crown the unified, undisputed super heavyweight champion of the world for amateur style boxing. There's a lot riding on it. You can imagine the intense pressure and the pride that these boxers get out of being successful at tournaments like these. Left to the body by Zuyeu. Nice to see body shots by these big men, not a common occurrence. Chopping right hand by Zuyeu, and he's chasing Pfeifer around the ring now. Zuyeu is a skilled veteran. He's been on all the big world stages. He's been on this stage before as well. Not just once, not just twice, but 3 times. 2003, 2005, 2007, 4 times, and 2009. That puts this as Viktar Zuyev's 5th world championship. They're held every 2 years. So this is nothing new to him. However, Erik Pfeifer is. Can't see that they've met just yet in previous action.
The ball number 521, Prince Roberto, 69 kilograms.
There's a nice punch by Pfeifer, which looks like it scored. Zuyev's head snapped back for just a minute. Now it's a little lull in the action as the round 2 comes to a close. And it's still very tight. Belarus has pulled up by a point. 11-10. Viktar Zuyeu over Erik Pfeifer. However, that 1 point means nothing for all intents and purposes because the 3rd round is anyone's. And with the 3rd round will come the victory. Whoever is the more active boxer, whoever is the more effective scorer, whoever is the bigger puncher is going to win this bout. And either man can take that in the 3rd round. A nice left hand to the belly by Zuyeu. There's the scoring through 2 rounds. Referee Renee Just doing a great job letting these boxers go at it, letting them work through the clinches. Pfeifer now pushing Zuyeu around a little bit, starting to march him down and around the ring. Renee Just going to issue a caution to Pfeifer. And now again, they're going to lock horns. This time the referee gives the caution to Zuyeu. Big right hand to the body by Zuyeu. Referee Renee Just issuing another caution to Pfeifer. And the boxing resumes here in the center of the ring. Both boxers seem to be getting a little tired because there's a lot of clinching going on. That wasn't the case in the first 2 rounds. And now you see Pfeifer continuing to move forward and apply the pressure. Zuyeu turning his man a little bit, trying to get him to go his way. A right under the armpit of Pfeifer. Zuyeu throwing a sneaky punch, looked like the elbow sort of came following after it. It's more of a professional trick that we've seen. Not sure that that was intentional by Zuyeu. May have been effective nonetheless. Pfeifer, and there's a nice right rip to the body by Zuyeu. And again, action grinds to a halt here as the 2 boxers lock horns. Pfeifer retreating, Zuyeu advancing. Nice left hand by Zuyeu, scores to the head of Pfeifer. Now Pfeifer rips a right hook to the head of Zuyeu. Zuyeu with a right hand touches the left temple of Pfeifer. And Pfeifer comes back with a left to the body of his own. Nice short right hand by Zuyeu. Looks like it connected to the face of Pfeifer. And the referee's going to issue a caution to Pfeifer for turning around. Belarus was up by 1 before this round. It looks like Zuyeu may have been able to do enough thus far to maintain that lead and maybe even add to it. And as they continue to wrestle here in the corner with just 10 seconds left, referee Renee Just going to let them finish this one out in style. Big left hand by Zuyeu. Pfeifer works his way out of the clinch. 5 seconds. Good body shot by Pfeifer. Right hand to the belly. There's another and a little baby uppercut by Pfeifer off the ropes to finish it. Did the German do enough in the final moments of this round to keep it close? Or did the Belarusian boxer do enough in the first portion of the round to maintain that victory, to hold on to his lead? Both boxers get their headgear removed and go to the center of the ring to get their wraps, or rather to get their hands lifted. Hopefully they both go to the center to get their hands lifted. However, only one of them will. And the winner, unbelievable, the German, Erik Pfeifer, pulled it out, 18-15. He beat Viktar Zuyeu, ranked 4 in the world, and he will go on to the semifinals on Friday. So you could see from some of the action here, the judges liked what they saw from Erik Pfeifer. They felt he had the higher work rate and the better scoring percentage, clearly landed more scoring punches in the third round, and he gets the victory. So a good bout between two big heavyweights. However, that brings us down to the final two bouts of the evening. They're also super heavyweight bouts, and they are between Croatia and Kazakhstan first, and then Cuba and Azerbaijan second. And we know that last bout between Cuba and Azerbaijan is going to be a barn burner. The Cuban boxer really pulled out a wonderful performance yesterday with an amazing knockout that put a Frenchman on his back and ended the night early. And of course the Azerbaijani boxer, the local hometown favorite. This place will be rocking, of course. But let's focus our attention now to the boxers entering the ring. Ivan Dychko and Filip Hrgovic. Hrgovic and Dychko. Tony German from Canada is the referee for this bout. The judges are Castro, Cowley, Gallagher, Butar, and Trueba. Filip Hrgovic from Croatia. He is the 2008 Junior National Championship gold medalist in Croatia. In 2009, he was the Youth National Championship silver medalist. In 2010, he grabbed first place again at the same tournament. Also in 2010, he became the gold medalist at the AIBA World Championships here in Baku, the Youth World Championships. He beat Tony Yoka of France 7-4 in the final. That's the Frenchman that I just spoke of that got knocked out cold last night by Erislandy Savon, the Cuban. Beyond that, Filip Hrgovic is a participant in the World Series of Boxing, AIBA's semi-pro league, and he was the Croatian national champ this year, took first place. He's ranked 3 in the world, and last night he beat Miha Nuster of Romania 22-10. Dychko, not too shabby either. 2008, second place at the AIBA Youth World Championships in Guadalajara. 2009, he boxed in the AIBA World Championships in Milan. 2010, took second at the Asian Games in Guangzhou Province, China. 2011, first place at the Kazakh National Championships. Also, earlier this year, right here in Baku, took 5th place at the Great Silkway Tournament. Yesterday, Dychko beat number 6 ranked Chinaman Zhilel Zhang by a score of 13-7. Now, Hrgovic from Croatia and Dychko from Kazakhstan square off in Ring B. Dychko backing up, throws a nice jab out there and also a quick right hand. Kazakh boxers have a very proud tradition, like the Cubans and like so many other nations here. They really put a lot into their amateur programs. They have a lot of pride in their boxers. Many of their boxers are national celebrities, if you will, even at the amateur level. Hrgovic from Croatia showed us a pretty smart style yesterday in his bout against Mihai Nuster of Romania. He continued to pepper away. It may not look that effective, but it is. His style is to keep moving forward and to keep throwing punches. He's a big, strong man, and he doesn't mind getting hit. And that makes him a very dangerous opponent for anyone in this super heavyweight class, because nobody likes to get hit. Hrgovic seems to be willing to stand in there and trade with his opponents, to take 2 to give 1 if necessary. Now that may not be the most effective scoring style, because if you get 1 every time you lose 2, it's not a mathematically sound way to win on points. However, it is a good way to intimidate and bully your opponent, if but for a few exchanges, and maybe, just maybe, you get lucky enough to land that big shot when you're playing on the line like that. This is the first round. We're coming to a close here. Hrgovic seems to be the aggressor, continuing to walk Dychko down. Kazakhstani boxer locking up a little bit, and here comes Hrgovic on the aggressive advance. Catches the Kazaki with a left hand, and 8-3 Kazakhstan. A little bit too little too late going on in the first round, at least, for the Croatian boxer. You can see here some action from round one as the Kazakh boxer does a good job of evading and avoiding some of those bigger shots thrown by Hrgovic.
Second round.
Big left hand by Dychko, snaps back the head of Hrgovic. Another one right there. Dychko doing a really good job with that jab. He's very effective with it, and he's able to keep Hrgovic at bay. Hrgovic really should keep his hands up a little higher and tighter, seeing how Dychko is being so effective with that jab. That jab is as much a scoring weapon as is anything, and it's an easier punch to throw, and more importantly, an easier punch to land because of the distance between you and your opponent when you throw that jab. The jab is coming off your lead hand with your lead foot forward. In this case, that would be the left for Dychko. It's at the closest distance to Hrgovic, certainly closer than his rear right hand, and it's coming straight down the pipe. And if Hrgovic's not going to be able to block it effectively or parry it or otherwise avoid it, then Dychko's going to be racking up the points as he did in the first round with just the jab alone. And most importantly, Dychko knows that, and that's why he keeps using it. Pushes Hrgovic off just a little bit. Left hand by Dychko. The referee is going to separate the boxers for a brief moment. Action has come to a grinding halt here. Dychko and Hrgovic. Just 20 seconds left here in this round. A sneaky left by Dychko. That jab, he's been using it for much of the bout. He used it again there quite effectively. And the boxer's working through the clinch. That's the end of round number 2. And now the Kazakh boxer goes up 7-7. He's got a commanding 10-point lead going into this final round. And there's Hrgovic getting some water on his head, looking a little forlorn. Not sure how to come out of this hole he's dug himself into. And boxing resumes here. The third and final round of this second to last super heavyweight bout. Dychko in the blue corner from Kazakhstan, Hrgovic in the red corner from Croatia. And now Hrgovic, with a sense of urgency, is chasing Dychko around the ring. Dychko needs to do nothing more than circle away, use that jab, avoid the clinches. He doesn't need to do that. Doesn't make sense. Why would he put himself in harm's way when he could avoid the lumbering Filip Hrgovic and just continue to circle and jab? The clinches are creating breaks in the action. They're providing more time for Hrgovic to get rest. This is the time for the Kazakh boxer to circle away, keep his distance, use his jab, salt and pepper. Big right hand by Hrgovic. That's because Dychko is letting him get close. Another left and a right, and here comes Hrgovic. The referee's going to issue a standing 8 count. Look at that, Filip Hrgovic down by 10 going into the third and final round. He needs to be the aggressor. Dychko needs to stay away. Instead, Dychko getting a little tired, mixing it up. We told you Hrgovic likes to mix it up. We said he's a big puncher. There you go. Now you see what Hrgovic is causing Dychko to do. Now Dychko is starting to stay away, but even now, he mixes it up. It's those clinches where he's going to find himself perhaps in more harm's way. A right hand by Hrgovic on the break. Now Hrgovic really trying to measure his man. He's got Dychko up against the ropes. A big right hand by Hrgovic. And I tell you, one thing's for sure, Hrgovic is slowly eroding the lead that Dychko had going into this round. The referee gonna caution Dychko a little bit. And there's a resurgent Dychko coming back, and now the referee's going to issue another 8 count to the Kazakh. So Hrgovic is definitely getting closer. He's slowly starting to eke away at the lead that Dychko had. And here comes Hrgovic again, lands a left, may have landed another right there that scored. Another shot to the body by Hrgovic, so Hrgovic's really letting him have it. This would be an amazing, amazing comeback if Hrgovic scored enough points in the third round. A little baby uppercut, Hrgovic staying on him, throws a left, looking for one more, a big right and a left at the bell. Boy, this could end up being a lot closer than it otherwise would have been. Been a very poor strategy by the Kazakh boxer in the third round. He let himself get caught. He let himself mix it up with a guy he did not need to mix it up with, a big puncher. Decision. My sense tells me the Kazakh, with a 10-point lead, was able to hold him off, but look at that. 6 points the Croatian got, turned it into a 4-point lead. The Kazakh boxer comes away with the victory. However, he'd be well served as this tournament continues to not let something like that happen again. There's no need to mix it up with the guy in the third round when you're up on 10, particularly with a big puncher like Hrgovic. Be that as it may, congratulations to Dychko. He goes on to the semis on Friday. Hrgovic, number 3 in the world. We know we'll see him again. But for now, we move on to the final bout of the evening. It's a super heavyweight contest between Erislandy Savon and Magomedrasul Medzhidov. Savon from Cuba, Medzhidov from right here in Azerbaijan. Here comes the Cuban entering the ring first. And here comes the Azerbaijani boxer, super heavyweight, 25 years old, member of the Baku Fires, the semi-pro team in the AIBA WSB League. Ishmerentalov is the referee. The judges, Butar, Castro, Hassan, Cowley, and Tony Germain. Let's take a look at Savon. 2008 AIBA Youth World Championships, 1st place. 2009 AIBA World Championships Milan, 6th place. 2010 Pan American Championships in Quito, Ecuador, 2nd place. 2011 first Pan American Games qualifier in Venezuela, 1st place. 2011 Cuban National Championships, 3rd place. He's ranked 10 in the world. As I mentioned earlier, yesterday, he had a stunning, devastating knockout when he beat Tony Yoka of France with a huge, huge left uppercut at 118 of the 2nd round. A vicious uppercut that put Tony Yoka on his back. And while the lights stayed on in the arena, they went out for Tony Yoka. Medzhidov, he is, as mentioned, on the Baku Fire, the semi-pro team for the WSB. He's also the bronze medalist this year at the Umakanov Memorial Tournament in Russia. He's ranked number 2 in the world, and last night he beat Isia Mena of Colombia when the referee stopped the contest due to an injury in round 3 at 1:33. So let's see if Savon can duplicate his performance of last night and really put a bucket of water on the Baku fireman, Magomedrasul Medzhidov. Savon, Cuba, red corner. Medzhidov, Azerbaijan, blue corner. Super heavyweights, quarterfinals. World Championships 2011. Medzhidov standing in the center of the ring. Big man, much bigger than Savon. Savon taller and faster, although that's a big left hand by Medzhidov. It rattled Savon. A left to the head of Savon, and it really shook him, buckled him, and the crowd really got behind that. Savon may not want to really test the power of Medzhidov. The referee going to issue a caution. He's going to right there to Medzhidov for turning his back, and Savon peppers out that long jab. Looks like he's staying away a little bit now from the big man. However, the first round of his bout last night started a little slow as well. He tried to feel Yoka out. We didn't sense what ultimately came until it happened. So perhaps Erislandy employing a similar strategy of starting off a little slow. However, we sense the power of Medzhidov early on in round 1. Big right hand by Medzhidov again lands on the chin of Savon. And again, the crowd really applauds Medzhidov for landing those big shots. He is swinging for the fences, boy. He really, really wants to impress his home crowd and put Savon out early. Another big left by Medzhidov, and now a right to the body. Medzhidov, not only is he landing big power punches, but he's racking up the points. A left by Savon, right down the pike. However, Medzhidov seemingly unfazed. And now Savon trying to use ring generalship to stay out of harm's way and avoid the big, heavy punching Magomedrasul, Medzhidov. And for the most part, this round is going to end with Medzhidov having gotten the better. Although, look at that. I would never have guessed it, but it is a tie score, 3-3. Apparently, some of those little cute punches by the Cuban had their effectiveness registered by the judges. I didn't see it. I saw the big punches land by the Azerbaijani. Apparently there was those 3 power punches and nothing else, because we saw 3 big shots land, and apparently those 3 all scored. 3-3 after 1, Cuba and Azerbaijan. Boxing resumes here. Savon in the red corner, Medzhidov in the blue. It's getting loud in here at the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex in Baku, downtown. And Savon, a little off balance there, slips back. Crowd liked it. Big left hand by Savon, and here he comes on the charge. That's the same left hand that we saw yesterday, but now on a big punch by Medzhidov, and down goes Savon, and he's slow getting up. The crowd is really, really loud, and Savon looks on wobbly legs there. Medzhidov with a big shot. Hardly saw it, it was in the corner. Let's see if he can finish it. There's a slick boxer is Savon. Is he gonna be able to stay away and regain his senses? Or is Medzhidov going to be able to land another big shot to put him down? There's a jab by Savon right down the middle. Big right hand by Medzhidov. Medzhidov really swinging for the fences here. Throws a sharp left hook, misses. A big right hand by Medzhidov again, and that's going to be another standing 8 count for Erislandy Savon. Boy, Savon is going to need to get his act together now. I'm not even concerned about him winning on points. I'm only concerned about him making it out of this contest on 2 feet. Medzhidov is really laying the punches. And now, the referee's going to issue a caution for, I guess, cuffing by Medzhidov. Savon looking to land that big left again that he landed yesterday. We've seen glimmers of it. There's a cute jab by Savon that gets in. He seemed to have gotten his senses back. He's on his feet. Big left by Medzhidov once again. And a big right hand, but Savon showing some good whiskers. He's coming back. Big right hand by Medzhidov. Big right hand by Medzhidov. That's going to get him another standing 8 count. And the Azerbaijani crowd is really letting Medzhidov hear it. I don't know how many more of these big power shots Savon is going to be able to take. The referee is going to end it. The Cuban corner has stopped it. You can rip up your slips. This bout is over. An unbelievable and unexpected finish. Azerbaijani Magomedrasul Medzhidov has beaten number 10 ranked Erislandy Savon, as Savon's corner had seen enough. A very surprising stoppage. Whilst Savon was taking big shots, he seemed to be handling them rather well. But apparently, his corner thought otherwise, and it is most certainly the safety and well-being of the boxers that always takes precedence, and there it is. Medzhidov with the victory, and he goes to congratulate Savon for a spirited performance, but the referee stopped the contest. It seemed, it looked like the corner of Savon that stopped it. Apparently the referee had seen enough. So, that said, Savon is out. Medzhidov off to the finals, or rather the semifinals, excuse me, on Friday. Look at that big shot. Medzhidov really laying the lead. There's a huge left hand that just put Savon flat on his back, kind of the way he did to Tony Yoka last night. It's payback time for Erislandy Savon. And we could look at some of this action as clearly Savon was rattled by those big punches. So that's going to do it, folks. That's definitely going to do it here in the super heavies. As we are wrapping things up, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us here in the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex. It was a great day of boxing, and we'd like to thank you all and welcome you back Friday for the semifinals. This is Castle Chalice. Thanks for joining me here in Castle's Corner in Baku. Good night.